Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Unbettable, the world's premier sports betting podcast. I'm Mondo here with Holmes. We are Gary-less today. Gary is out sick. He is dying. He basically feels like I felt the whole last week. So we were like,
Rip.
take the night, chill out, feel better. We'll see him on the next episode, but tough for Gary. We hope he feels better soon. On today's episode, we got the triple threat takeaways. You already know how we do it. We're going to preview Monday Night Football, do a little CFB recap. We're going to do a little NFL recap. We'll wrap all of that up with some NFL or NBA and shell picks, right?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
I think that's kind of the vibe today. I think that's what we're going with. So,
Yeah,
Holmes,
dude.
I'll let you kick it off here. How you doing?
Doing good, man. Doing good. Not too bad of a weekend. College football, man.
It's tough
It's
out.
rough. It's really hard. It's
It's
really
tough.
hard. We are just in, as we've been talking about the past few pods, we are in a very tough stretch of the season. Rivalry week upcoming this week. I can already tell you right now, it's going to be very, very difficult to find some plays this week. Just so many good games, so many storied traditional rivalries going on this weekend. There's going to be so much to keep your eye on with the holiday break, but great NFL day. Just looking to keep it rolling upcoming, man. Thanksgiving games, we're excited. We're mad excited.
That we are. And a little Black Friday action this year.
That is pretty
Dolphins,
sick.
Jets. Gonna be
Yeah,
a
that's gonna be
hype
awesome.
game, brother. Hype game.
That's really cool. I love
But
that they're doing that this year.
yeah, no, it's gonna be a hell of a week. We got 5 straight days of football that pretty much never happens. So
Yeah.
it's great. I'm excited. I know you're excited. Gary somewhere in La La Land's pretty excited too. So we're gonna have a shit ton of picks to give you guys. And you know they're all gonna hit because that's how we are. It's what we do. We're professional sports bettors. At least I say my bank account says otherwise, but it is what it is. Holmes, what's your first takeaway of the weekend?
Oh man, I don't normally do this. I don't normally talk about Florida a whole lot on the pod. Gary does that a lot for me. But I'm going to say something right now that is maybe a little against the grain about what people are saying about the Florida Gators.
Mhm,
As bad as it seems, the Florida Gators took yet another L
mhm.
this weekend. I think you have to low key appreciate the amount of fight that Billy Napier has instilled in this very, very young team. I think this goes over a lot of people's heads, especially if you're a Florida fan. This is literally the youngest team we have had in probably at least a decade.
Mhm.
It's crazy. There are true freshmen starting all over the place, especially on defense. And we're hanging in there with very, very talented ranked teams. We have one of the hardest schedules in college football this year.
Easily.
And we have actually not been playing as bad as people thought we were going to be coming into this season. Like, yeah, dude, it sucks to lose to Missouri. Yeah, dude, it sucks to lose to LSU and to Arkansas and to Georgia. Like, it sucks to lose to all these teams. But when you think about how many of these were ranked matchups, not obviously not Florida being ranked, but like being able to hang 35 on a very talented LSU team in Death Valley, and then you come back the next week after getting your butt handed to you by LSU, and you go down to the wire with the number 9 ranked team in the nation in their house. I mean, you got to give, I think, a little bit of credit to Billy for at least getting these guys up to fight and play these games. I'm actually really excited for the Florida State Florida game and know it's going to be a backup quarterback battle. And it's not really what we expected coming into it, which is souring the matchup a little bit. But I mean, this is must win for Billy Napier. So I'm excited to see how he gets the dudes fired up because I think there's a chance he can get that 6th win, get us to bowl eligibility. Sorry, I took forever talking
Nah, bro, you're good. I'm gonna hit on it too.
about
But yeah, I mean, you're right though. This team is extremely young. They're very scrappy, and
that.
Billy's finally got them to buy in. We have a great recruiting class coming in, but it's tough when you're at a program like Florida, who's essentially a blue blood of college football, and they expect excellence all the time. What they don't understand is with these programs these days, excellence isn't guaranteed. Like when Alabama's been so dominant that recruits keep going and going there. So their excellence has been extended for so long. When you have a university like Florida and they have to build up from what they once were, it takes time. And to
Yeah.
keep replacing coaches, it isn't the recipe for success. You finally have a guy in Billy Napier who is out here getting kids to buy in, making sure that they're hungry, they want to get the wins. Yeah, it's been tough. We have one of the youngest rosters on the planet right now. It is what it is, and we still keep fighting. Shout out to Graham Mertz. My first takeaway: Graham Mertz is a dog.
Yeah,
People were
dude.
shitting on him when he came here. All the Wisconsin guys were like, "Good luck, have fun." When you get a kid to buy in, like Graham Mertz has bought in, you get what we saw that turn or that game. You
Hmm.
see Graham Tebow. You see the man running into people, sacrificing his own body for the betterment of his teammates. It takes a lot to get a player to be willing to do that, and Billy
Hmm.
has gotten his QB to do that. That's why we're in the position we are. Granted, it's not a great position, but when you get the talent that we're getting this offseason and you can keep building on top of that, and you have that kind of a recruiter in Billy Napier, guess what? You're poised for success. It's not going to be year one. Shit, it may not be year two, but year 3, 4, 5, guess what? We're going to be in the playoffs. We're going to be ranked. That's how we do it. We are Florida. We keep building. We persevere. We never back down. That's our whole motto. That's why we're so great at what we do. And that's why we're so successful as a university. Okay? That's what it means to be a fucking Florida Gator. We persevere no matter what. So my takeaway is the Gators are coming back. Just give them some goddamn time. Holmes,
Yeah.
what's your next takeaway?
Yeah. I mean, just on that, dude, just be patient. Like, I know everybody wants Billy's ass gone, but like, come on, dude, be patient. He's recruited incredibly well. He's getting the boys up to play every single weekend, especially in a season that you knew we were not going to be good. We did not have high expectations coming into this season.
We
And
were
just as a
projected
reminder,
last, dude.
yeah, exactly.
Last.
Exactly. I
Like, I
also
don't get it.
want to put this out there. If you thought this year's schedule was hard, I
Just
want to
wait,
remind you
bro.
of what next year is going to look like. Opponents coming into the swamp: Miami, Samford, that's a, whatever.
Yeah.
UCF, Kentucky, LSU, Ole Miss, and Texas A&M. Obviously, neutral site with Georgia. We have to go to Florida State, to Tennessee, to Mississippi State, and to Texas. So if you think it's not going to get harder, it
It
will. I
is.
promise you that.
It's gonna be hard, but we're gonna
Yeah.
find a way. We always do.
Gotta find a way. We gotta find a way. All right. Second takeaway for me is going to be this: the matchups that happened this past weekend in college football are going to set up some really interesting rivalry games with playoff implications on the line this weekend. Obviously, the first one being Michigan and Ohio State this weekend. The winner is going to get in, because I can see the winner going to the Big Ten championship and beating the shit out of Iowa. As good as
Mhm.
Iowa's been on defense, I don't know, man. I think Michigan and Ohio State are both better than Iowa. So I see them winning this game, win the Big Ten. They should be in the playoff. But if it's a close game, what happens to the loser? We're going to have a lot of discussion there for sure. Then Oregon State and Oregon. This is a massive opportunity for Oregon State to literally ruin Oregon's season. Really tough loss at home against Washington this week. But if they come out and they are able to beat Oregon in Eugene, that would be so massive.
Mhm.
Washington is immediately going to propel even higher, especially with a win this week. I mean, oh wait, Washington? Yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yep.
Washington is
Yeah.
home against Washington State. So Oregon State, man, they have the obvious chance right here to just blow up Oregon's season, get Washington possibly into the playoff right then and there. But if Oregon wins, man, it's going to be setting up a hell of a rematch in the Pac-12 championship.
Mhm.
Um, and then, just like we were talking about Florida State, Florida has the same chance right here too, man, to wreck Florida State season. The only way Florida State gets in now is they beat us. They beat Louisville in the ACC championship. They remain undefeated. And I think they have to get into that point. You cannot leave out an undefeated conference champion, especially Power Five. So it's going to be a big weekend. There's going to be a lot of games, a lot of championships, a lot of CFP stuff decided this weekend in these games.
Yeah, this is about to be one of the most electric weekends of football of all time. I'm not bullshitting you guys when I say this about this rivalry weekend. They're always great matchups. Everyone always plays each other hard, but the storylines heading into these matchups this year are absolutely unbelievable. I mean, you
Yeah.
kick it all off with Ohio State, Michigan, and that whole clusterfuck that's going on right now. That is
Mm.
easily the biggest game, probably bigger than majority of the NFL games will be this weekend. It
Oh
is
yeah.
absolutely nuts what that is going to look like. I will be watching every single second. It is going to be electric to see on Twitter. I can't wait. On
Mm-hmm.
top of that, you got Florida, Florida State. I know it's a backup QB battle, but you have an undefeated team looking to make the college football playoffs against a team that is scrappy and looking to get into a bowl game and ruin their rival's season. You have conference potential matchups. You got bursts into championship games. You have all of this stuff culminating in one of the greatest weekends of football you will ever see in your entire life. That
Mm-hmm.
is a fact. If you are not enjoying rivalry weekend, you are missing out. I don't care if you don't like college football. It is just it's not even a cult thing. It's an American thing. This is an American experience. If you are out there and you are watching college football, even if you don't like it, you will feel like a blue-blooded American. You will be taking dip, ripping a piss in the yard. You will be all for it, all ready to go, all turn, all like it is just I am so excited for Saturday. Like that's my second takeaway is just I cannot wait for Saturday. I cannot
Yeah.
wait to watch all the storylines unfold. It is going to be absolutely insane. So it's going to be awesome, man. I just can't wait.
Yeah.
But
Mm-hmm.
what's your third?
I'm going to go to the NFL, and I am going to say that Justin Herbert's supporting cast continues to let this man down, and I am so over it, man. I really liked Justin Herbert coming out of college. Like he played very, very well at Oregon. He is just a good-hearted kid. He knows how to sling the pill. I mean,
Mhm.
I've picked him almost every year in fantasy. Like I just love the way he just commands a what's supposed to be a very powerful Chargers offense.
Yeah.
But this week, I mean, you could pretty much say this every week, but everybody around Justin Herbert on the Chargers let him down again. It's the defense, it's his own receivers dropping passes, it's his own head coach that doesn't even know how to manage the defense. Like, I hate to say it, dude, like, but Brandon Staley is wasting this guy's talent.
That
If
man is
this
on the hot
defense,
seat.
oh my God, it's
The
ridiculous. He has
hottest
to
seat.
be. If that seat is not on fire, there is something wrong with that Chargers front office, bro. Because you cannot continually be having over 250 plus yard games and 2 TDs, 3 TDs from Justin Herbert, and your defense continues to let him down. Your wide receiver, the number one wide receiver you picked in the first round this year, is dropping game-winning passes in his hands.
Ruined my
It's
parlay.
pitiful to see, dude. It's so brutal. Like I don't know what the hell is wrong with this team. I don't know why they seemingly can't piece it together with all the different talented athletes that they have on both sides of the ball. Man, they are just a frustrating watch because they should be at the top of the AFC every single year in contention with the Chiefs, in contention with the Bills and the Bengals and the Ravens. They should be up there, but
Mhm.
every year they are just letting themselves down in these very, very close games, and they can't seem to get on the other side of the coin.
Yeah, dude. Chargers are gonna charger. It's what they do. I mean, as a Dolphins fan, it's always been Tua versus Herbert. I- in actuality, like there's no competition. Respectfully, yeah, Justin Herbert's a great QB, but it takes more than stat padding to be able to be like a really good QB in the NFL. Like you have to be able to win games, and he needs to take control of that locker room. I saw him getting frustrated on the sideline. He needs to, instead of, spiking the ball on the field, and flipping out, he's got to take charge in that locker room. He's got to be the one that says, all right, Brandon Staley's lost the locker room. We got to find a guy that can get in there, get after it. He is the franchise guy. And he's surrounded by these superstars who, I can't justify why they're dropping passes and fumbling on the 2-yard line. But at the end of the day, it comes down to you. You're the star QB. You're the franchise centerpiece. It all revolves around you. Just make your voice heard. He's way too quiet. He needs to elevate himself and become a true leader on that team. And it's so frustrating to watch because I always like watching the Chargers. They're in the AFC West. They're always compared to the Dolphins. And I like when those matchups come around. But, they don't have that solidified leader of a QB that they need. And it's just all falling apart from there. I don't know, man. It's crazy.
Yeah.
But on the other side, I was talking about the Dolphins, and granted, this takeaway may be a little bit biased, but bro, the Dolphins are scary right now. And I'll tell you why. The Dolphins this entire year, their MO has been, if they blow teams out or they drop a ton of points, their lack of defense will make up for that, right? Well, their offense looked clunky, just not great on Sunday, and their defense lit it up. They've let up 13 points in the past 2 games. They have looked great. So now you have a team that's finding ways to win, even when their offense isn't down. That's a Super Bowl caliber team. And I'm trying to be as non-biased as possible in this, but they have the offense. Their defense is starting to work out now that they got Jalen Ramsey there, who's been absolutely dominant since he's hit the field.
Two picks.
Yeah, he's been balling. So they are a legitimate Super Bowl contender this year. And if they keep doing this, they have a pretty easy schedule coming up, and then they'll cap it off with the Bills. They could look poised for a deep playoff run and a potential Super Bowl title if they stay healthy, if their defense stays smart, if Vic Fangio stays on top of that play calling. We could go far, man. We could go really far. So that was my third takeaway. Just the Dolphins they're a different team right now, and I'm loving it. So, but Holmes, college football. Let's get back to it. Why don't you recap some of the big matchups, and then we'll go through our cards, talk winners and losers.
Sure, man. Let's go through it. Not a lot, again, like we said last weekend, or last week coming into this weekend. Not a lot of super great matchups. A lot of teams trying to play kind of like cupcakes, if you will, before their rivalry week this upcoming week. Michigan, though, in the noon window, they barely escaped at Maryland with a 31-24 win. Maryland pushed them to the edge, man. It was a little scary down there in Maryland for a while there. It was looking like Michigan could have got. And that definitely would have devalued this Ohio State and Michigan game coming up this weekend. But good on Michigan for hanging in there and being able to eke out a win against a tough Big Ten opponent. Arizona, Utah, number 22 Arizona loses at number 17 Arizona in a blowout, 42-18. Arizona, we've been talking about them the past couple of weeks. They're looking like the real deal. They're looking like the epitome of how you want to rebuild a program with the way that they have come out firing in the Pac-12 this year. But big news out of Utah, Cam Rising is coming back and is going to be the quarterback of Utah in 2024. So I think he's going to be on his seventh year of college. So that boy is going to be old out there for the Utah Utes. Yeah, I know, right? How about that? Like, that's a little crazy. But moving on. Number 1, Georgia gets a big 38-10 win against number 18 Tennessee. I think a lot of us saw this coming. We'll talk about it in our bets, but I don't think that spread was nearly big enough for Georgia to be able to cover. Mashing on Tennessee. I saw this result coming. Tennessee has just not looked the part, especially in the latter half of this season, especially against great teams as well. Georgia came in and absolutely put a whooping on them in Neyland Stadium. So Georgia continues the roll. That is going to be such a great matchup to watch in the SEC championship with Bama. And then honestly, I mean, one of the games probably of the weekend, number 5, Washington gets the 22-20 victory over 11 Oregon State in Corvallis. This was a great win for Washington. They really needed this to not only solidify themselves as a case for the top 4 in the college football playoff, but to show that they can get it done on the road just as much as they can get it done at home as well. Michael Penix, he's continuing to look great for this offense. What is his name? That wide receiver, Rome Adunze, I think. I'm probably butchering that name, and I apologize, but that guy is also a monster. That man is going to be playing in the league next year. He's going to be really exciting to watch. But man, that was just a well fought battle out there. You could just tell when it came down to crunch time and the bad weather, Michael Penix came out as a better quarterback. And even at home, where Oregon State has looked so solid, Washington comes out with a really great win to stay unbeaten, 11-0. That is such a great story for them out in Washington. Hopefully they're able to honestly make it into the playoff and get some Pac-12 notoriety in the CFP for once.
Yeah, right before they break down,
right before they
Makes
disintegrate
sense.
before our eyes.
Yeah, no, the
Right.
matchups this weekend, bro, have been wild. I think if I had to highlight a performance, I mean, there's only one performance we should be talking about. It's Mr. Jaden Daniels
Yeah.
out of LSU. I don't know, man. He may have just solidified the Heisman. 8 touchdowns, 6 of them passing, 413 pass yards, 96 rush yards, 2 tutties. Holy shit, man! What a performance. Granted,
Yeah.
it's against Georgia State, so like, I mean, if you were to even subtract 3 touchdowns from that, that's still fucking incredible.
Mm.
But yeah, just absolutely unreal. I know we watched him in the Gator game just dice us up, but that man is balling. It's going to be between him and Penix for, the Heisman this year. But as
Yeah, I
far
think Bo Nix is
as
probably in there as well.
yeah, probably.
Especially I think if Oregon ends up winning the Pac-12 championship. I mean, if they win their next 2 games and Bo Nix
Mm.
shows out, wins the rematch against Penix, I think he could definitely be up there. It's just going to be tough as well as Jaden Daniels has played. I mean, they're not going to be in the SEC championship, so he doesn't really get that extra opportunity to be able to showcase himself on a really big stage against a really good team. Like, yeah, man, 8 touchdowns. You got to love that shit. But like you said, Georgia State,
Yeah.
I feel like there's a lot of quarterbacks that can get close to 8 touchdowns, if not 8 touchdowns against a inferior opponent in Georgia State, if
Yeah.
you will.
And what a story for Bo Nix too. I mean,
Mhm.
we've basically seen it all. I went to and graduated from college and he's still there, but
Yeah.
he falters at Auburn under the pressure of, the family name being there. He gets out of there, he goes out west, goes to Oregon, and now he's in the conversation for the Heisman. So,
Yeah.
shouts out to him. I know he gets, joked about with his age a lot, but man, you just love those feel good stories in college football. And I think
Totally.
Game Day did a hell of a job highlighting that.
Yeah.
But yeah, as far as cards go this weekend, Saturday didn't go too well. I went 3-4. Yeah, we were starting to heat up a little bit, but this whole last week was tough, bro. Tough. So as far as winners go, Northwestern plus 3.5 on Purdue. Northwestern's really turned around, man. They're definitely a team you can bet on these days. And
Mhm.
I love watching them put up points against Purdue and take the win outright. But hey, I'll take that plus 3.5 any day.
Yes, sir.
Florida, Missouri over 58.5. I was out at dinner during this game, but every once in a while I'd pull up my phone and I'd be like, come on, like I couldn't judge it where we were at. But they ended up with I think like 64 points, ended up hitting it in the fourth quarter, which is absolutely awesome. So a rare time where I bet on my team and it pays off.
Mhm.
Um, Georgia minus 10 against Tennessee, as you said. Tennessee is just not that team, bro. They falter. They can't live up to the hype. And we know Georgia's just gonna come out and stomp you when you're an overhyped team like that. As far as the losers, Kansas State -7.5. We got so close. So close. But Kansas just finds a way, man. It's just a tough thing to deal with. I really felt good about that bet, so it hurts. Iowa State +7.5. Texas just came out and did their thing. Nothing really you can do there. Oregon State -2.5 against Washington. I don't really know why I took Oregon State with this bet. I've liked Washington all year, and I thought they've been a great team all year. I think it was just the fact that I think Oregon State was at home, and that was kind of why, it just made sense to me. But I don't know, something about it. Looking back, I wish I didn't do it. And the Auburn -20 against New Mexico State. Yeah, that was a tough one. That was not ideal. We did not look too hot there. The I guess coagulated amount of points was 50 that I lost by there. New Mexico State, I mean, I don't even know how to describe that game. That was just a clusterfuck for Auburn, the
Yeah.
clusterfuck for my bank account. It was just not a good time. But at least I knew at the gate it was a loser, so
That was
not
crazy.
too upset. But
That was a wild one. Yeah, I cannot believe Auburn actually lost against New Mexico State and paid them over $1.8 million to play them. So we'll leave it there. But yeah, same thing as you this weekend, 3-4. Wish it could have been better. Again, tough slate got the better of us a little bit. We were close on some stuff, but just couldn't bring it all home. Obviously, winners first. LSU -16.5 first half. I mean, this is just one I felt really good about. LSU going up against a really bad team in Georgia State or Georgia Southern. I mean, come on. LSU is trying to put up massive points there. I thought they were going to try and take out their starters, give them some rest in the second half. That did not happen. Jaden Daniels ended up playing the whole damn game. So, full game spread was pretty easy, but that first half was very easy as well. Felt good about that. Clemson -6.5. This was the trap line of the week that I wanted to try and take advantage of, and it ended up working out in our favor.
yeah,
It made no sense for Clemson, an unranked team, to be favored against a ranked UNC team. But honestly, if you have been watching UNC this year, especially in the past few weeks, they have not looked very good. They have really just been falling apart at the seams. And this is literally the only Clemson bet that I've gotten right all year long. So if you faded me, sorry. Ended up turning it around this week on Clemson. And then SMU Memphis over 64.5. I felt really good about this one going into the weekend as well. And we were able to get the good win on that. It was a little bit sweaty at the end. They had to have some late scores there in the fourth quarter, and actually a lot of scoring to happen in the second half as a total just to get to that 64.5 number. But with these high-powered offenses, felt really good about that. Got a nice win there. As far as the losses go, just some tough ones. The one that hurt the most, though, was Miami money line.
ooh,
Man, they held their ground all damn game. They were going back and forth with Louisville, and there was absolutely nobody in Miami watching that game. That stadium was empty. It was
bro,
ridiculous.
I swear
Watching that live,
always
and
is.
dude, I could not believe that I was looking at that live, that nobody was there trying to watch Miami on their senior day, like against a top 10 opponent. That was wild to me. But I mean, I thought Miami would be able to pull out that win. Good on them for at least hanging in there and putting up a great performance again against a really good Louisville team ranked 10. And we'll see if they move up at all tomorrow night in the CFP rankings. Ole Miss -20.5 first half. This was just a stinky bet. I should not have even come close to making this. Ole Miss looked like garbage in the first half, dude. Like against UL Monroe, seriously, it could barely move the ball. He couldn't do anything. It was 7-3 at the end of the first half. Ole Miss led. So thank you, Ole Miss, for absolutely nothing there in the first half. They've been so high powered, especially in the first quarter all season long, and came out like poop in this game against a cupcake. Put up 21 in the third quarter, though. So when we didn't need it, that's when they showed up. Georgia, Tennessee over 58.5. I should have just been on the Georgia side with you, man. That was a mistake on my part for not just going with the Georgia side here. I really thought the over was going to be a good play here. I was expecting at least 40 from Georgia and then another score from Tennessee, but I mean, Tennessee's offense just could not hang in there. They do
Mhm.
not look good at all. Joe Milton is not a good quarterback. Um, and as much as Georgia was able to put up points pretty easily, they didn't end up putting up nearly as many as I thought they might on their way to rolling Tennessee. And then, like you, Kansas State -9.5. I was on the bigger number there. You had -7.5.
Mhm.
Obviously, Kansas State got the win, but they had to come from behind to be able to get this win. They were down at one point, I think, 27 to 16 in the third quarter. So they had to come from behind and be able to eke out the 31-27 win in Kansas, or at Kansas, I should say. So the 9.5 is just a tough number there. Kansas State gets the win, but not the cover. So 3-4 on the weekend. Tough stuff here, but we gotta hopefully see if we can turn it around this week for rivalry week and then take advantage of any conference championship matchups, and then eventually bowl games.
Yeah, no, it's been tough out here rivalry weekend. As I said before, it's gonna be exciting to watch. I don't know how many bets I'm gonna put down. I just kind of want to watch it for the most part, but we'll
Mhm.
cross that bridge when we get there. I know I'm gonna heavy up on NFL this weekend, so get ready. And speaking of NFL, let's get right into the NFL recap.
Yeah.
Kicking it off, Raiders, Dolphins. Dolphins take this 20-13. I had the over in this game at 46 and a half. Didn't end up hitting. There were only 6 points put up in the second half. I felt good after the first, but I don't know, man. Both offenses went silent. Hated to see it. Is what it is. Dolphins get the dub. I called a Tyreek Hill touchdown out. Sure enough, dude delivers. He was due for one of his patented big games, so feels good. Love watching the Dolphins ball, but wish that over could have hit. What you got?
Yeah, dude. I get that. I was also on that over 46.5. With only 2 field goals in the second half, that is not going to get it done. And
Mhm.
I mean, 4 interceptions total in the game. Those are just drive killers,
Yeah,
especially for the Raiders trying to move the ball down the field and get something working. I mean, props to Jalen Ramsey with 2 picks on the game. He's an incredible player, and
sir.
I'm sure the Dolphins are very happy to have him back on defense. But I did say on the Friday pod, if you remember, the Raiders would cover this 13.5. I saw it coming. I should have actually made it an official bet. I'm pretty pissed that I didn't, but Dolphins able to get a good win at home. I like that the Raiders cover. I saw that coming, but yeah, sucks to miss that over there and what I thought was going to be a pretty explosive day for the Dolphins.
hmm Yeah, no, it was just a solid football game. You had your mistakes, had your great plays, but it was a good game, especially if you're a Dolphins fan. Another game that kind of went as expected. Cowboys Panthers. Cowboys take it 33-10. No real surprise here. The only issue is just, bro, Bryce Young. I'm thinking he's not that guy, but he doesn't have the help, and I don't know. I don't know where I'm sitting with this. Tony Pollard finally found the end zone, which was pretty hype. But other than that, man, this was a dry ass game. So
Yeah.
let you take it from here.
Yeah, I didn't watch too much of it. Cowboys covered easily in the 33-10 win. I had CeeDee Lamb over 83.5 receiving yards, and that didn't end up hitting. I don't even think he had over 40 yards. Yeah, he had
I
six
think
catches for 38 yards.
Dak had
Definitely
less
not the
than
game he's
200.
had in his
Man.
past three. So that was disappointing. But Dak Prescott didn't pass for a lot. He really didn't
Nah.
have to. He only had 189 in the air because that defense is just way too dominant. And yeah, I mean, as much as I kind of like want to shit on Bryce Young too, uh, it's just, you come in and you play such a really good ass defense in the Dallas Cowboys. I think you're bound to make some mistakes, especially as a rookie. And like you said, he doesn't have the help around him, man. I mean, the running back situation is who
Chubba.
knows.
Chubba.
He only has Thielen as a wide receiver right now that's trusted, and Thielen's getting up there in age. He doesn't have much tread left on those tires. It's just the defense isn't really like they've got a couple playmakers, but it's not enough to be able to keep them in a lot of games. So you just really got to hope that they have a good draft, have a good offseason, try to make some moves to put something around Bryce Young. Because what they have now is not helping them right now. They have to get that rebuild going a little bit.
Yeah. Onto a definite back and forth game. Steelers and Browns. This is just your typical AFC North matchup. Browns sneak it out 13-10, bro. The Browns are legit. They're a legit team. And they don't really have a great QB right now in DTR, but they're scrappy. They do what they need to do. They're 7-3 right now. They're poised for a good playoff run, but I don't know, bro. And on the other side, like, your only focal point right now is Jalen Warren. So it's a good scrappy matchup. It's what we expect out of the AFC North every single week. But yeah, just the game-winning field goal clutched it for the Browns. So
yeah, what a kind of like shitter game, honestly. Like this Steelers offense is so horrid to watch. Kenny Pickett, I am really quickly losing faith in him as a starting quarterback in this league. And I can't really give DTR that many props either. Neither quarterback really played very well in this game. But the Browns defense, they are what they remind me of what the Bucks were when they won their first Super Bowl against the Raiders back in what was that, like 02, I think. Just like the defense will carry them through every game. The offense just be semi-competent. You don't even have to be fully competent, just semi. Just like get some field goals, maybe a touchdown. And the Browns defense will make the rest happen. They are so dominant, the number one defense in the league right now. They just continue to show out every week. And they're, I think, the only reason why the Browns are staying afloat right now with the abysmal quarterback situation that they have. But one thing of note, they did sign, the Browns did, Joe Flacco to the practice squad.
Himself. He's back.
Yeah. How about that? We will see if he actually gets any starting action. Maybe they'll elevate him to eventually start a game for the Browns. But man, after being a Ravens quarterback for so long, he goes over to the dark side. Come on, Joe.
Yeah, I know. What's he doing?
Yeah,
I think
come on.
another fun point to talk on it for this game. I don't know if you saw it, but Myles Garrett picked up a helmet and everyone hit the panic button. It was the funniest shit I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And he just stood there laughing. Everyone was standing back with their hands up. But that was probably like the greatest piece of the game. And if that's the greatest piece, like, I hate to tell you, it was a shitty game, brother.
It was a shitty game, yeah.
But on to an NFC North matchup that, it was a great fucking game, man. Bears Lions. Lions sneak it out 31-26. Jared Goff looked ass the entire game up until that last 4-minute stretch. He leads the team down in a minute and a half, scores a touchdown. They get the ball back. He takes them down for a game-winning touchdown. I mean, just a typical Bears way to go out. On one side, Jared Goff plays bad. Justin Fields comes back. He plays well. And, the Bears, they may have lost, but, really they win. Justin Fields play well, and they still have great draft picks. So, if you're a Bears fan, it's not all bad. It's really not. You guys have definitely surpassed your win total that I thought you'd get this year. But, at least Matt Eberflus is gone after this year. Because you can't have a loss like that and expect him to stay around. So at least that's like your one good point.
On the flip side, though, man, how resilient are the Lions? Like, this is just such a fun team to watch. Dan Campbell has these boys motoring every single week. Even with Jared Goff has an abysmal game with 3 picks. They still find a way to pull it out. Aiden Hutchinson, very, very clutch on the defensive side at the end of the game. But honestly, you can't really shit on Justin Fields for this game, coming back and actually playing pretty well. 169 through the air and a touchdown, and 104 on the ground. So he was using his legs quite a bit and getting the Bears offense moving a little bit. And you can just definitely tell when he is on the field, DJ Moore is a different wide receiver. He loves him for sure. I mean, that is such a great connection that they have out there in Chicago. You can definitely tell that chemistry is very high. So I'm honestly going to be very interested in trying to take some DJ Moore props in the future now with Justin
Mhm.
Fields back, and how much he looks his way all the time to just get him production, get the ball in his hands.
Yeah, loved it. Game we didn't love. Chargers, Packers. Packers sneak it out 23-20. Not really sneaking it out. Honestly, the Packers looked dominant the whole game. Chargers didn't know what the hell was going on. I know we talked about it earlier, but I had Chargers minus 3.5. That
Mm.
shit was terrible. What a fucking letdown. It's just like if there's a single score game for the Chargers, you know they're gonna lose it. Every
Yeah,
single time, without fail, they lose that game. And then on the other side, they make Jordan Love look like an MVP caliber quarterback.
yeah.
Like I don't understand. I also had the Keenan Allen over 6.5 receptions. That was an easy cash. He had 10, should have had 11 and two tutties, but they we'll take what we can get out of this fucking team because at this point, there's not much I can get. But what were your thoughts? I know we hit on it earlier, but
Yeah, not too much. I know I talked about it a little bit in the takeaways, but I mean, Justin Herbert is just getting let down by the drops. Just weird defensive play. Um, Packers looked good at home. You know, Jordan Love actually had a pretty decent game. I think he threw for over 300 yards. Don't see
Mhm.
that very often from Jordan Love. Tough thing though, Aaron Jones did get carted off the field in this game, so hopefully he is not gone for an extended period of time. He is very vital to that Packers offense. Um, but yeah, really, that's all I got. Chargers disappointing again, man. 4-6 record. That is not where I thought the Chargers would be after 10 weeks.
Mhm. Yeah, onto definitely a weird game. Giants smoked the Commanders 31-19. Sam Howell, he looked lost out there. Not a typical performance out of him. Saquon looked great. It just such a weird NFC East game that I don't know. Just
Yeah.
didn't sit right with me. It's just very weird. I wouldn't look too much into it if you're on either team. You guys both suck, so just keep that in mind, but just a gross weird matchup.
Yeah, I did not pay like pretty much any attention to this game. Good for Tommy DeVito though, showing out, having a really good game.
Tommy.
18 for 26, 246 yards and 3 touchdowns. Definitely the breakout performance he was looking for in these
Oh
past few games. For the kid that still lives at home with his parents, if you don't know. So saving money on rent, very smart guy. But yeah, this is not the outcome I was expecting at all. Definitely expected Washington to be able to win at home over a Giants team that looked like nothing was going right for them last week. So shout out to Tommy DeVito leading his boys to a nice victory over a rival.
Yeah. Down to the AFC South, Titans at Jaguars, just exactly how we thought it would happen. Titans are now 0-6. They fall 34-14. It was a Calvin Ridley show from the start. The man had 7 receptions, 103 yards, 2 touchdowns. Just looked great. On the other side, bro, Derrick Henry needs to get the hell out of there.
Yeah.
I don't know what the Titans are doing. Every time they've made the playoffs, their game plan has been feed Henry, get him the ball, let him run through the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And they have shied so far away from that. I get that running backs run out eventually, but dude, like your focal point of your offense is Derrick Henry. Feed him the fucking ball. What are you
Mm-hmm.
doing?
Yeah,
Just crazy to me.
absolutely. Yeah, I had Jags minus 6.5 in this game, easily covered. The Titans are now 0-6 on the road. They are a bad team away from Tennessee. So just keep that in mind for future betting opportunities. If the Titans are on the road, I am fading them 100%. You know, they just do not play well on the road. I don't know what it is. But the Jags, after that beat down last week against San Francisco, this is what we thought. It would come back, have a bounce back performance. T Law looked really good for the first time in a few weeks, honestly. And Calvin Ridley, really great performance out of him too. 7 catches for 103 and 2 tutties on the day. I think there's some weird trend that I was reading up on today that Calvin Ridley performs really, really well when Zay Jones plays. But when Zay Jones does not play, Calvin Ridley's booty. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure in the 3 games where Zay Jones has like played fully, Calvin Ridley's gone for over 100 yards. So, but in the games that he doesn't play, he's getting like 40 yards, 50 yards. He's barely being utilized in the offense. Very, very interesting nugget to carry going forward. But yeah, Jags -6.5. Great bet this weekend. Felt great about that. Jags getting easy win at home. Titans blow.
Yeah. On to the next one. Cardinals, Texans. This was the CJ Stroud welcome to the NFL moment, right? The dude finally has 3 interceptions in a game. Just, and it's one of those things where it's like, it's a welcome to the NFL moment. But at the same time, when that happens and you still find a way to catch a dub, it's not that bad. It's not the end of the world. I will say, bro, Tank Dell is fucking elite. That
Mm-hmm.
man balls, and I love watching him.
Yes, sir.
He is scrappy, he's aggressive, he makes insane catches. That was easily the highlight of the game. Cardinals now 0-6 on the road. Another point to keep in mind if you are betting based on that, but
Nice.
just that's it went as expected, right? For the most
Mm-hmm.
part.
Yeah, it's good for the Texans to be able to get this win at home. I had CJ Stroud over 265.5 pass yards. That came in with ease. CJ's been slinging the ball all year. No need for him to do anything different against this Cardinals team. But yeah, the 3 interceptions is the probably the worst game of his career so far, and they're still able to get a win. So I think that shows how much this Texans team has really grown, really rallied around all the guys that they have on this roster and the head coach and D'Amico Ryans. I mean, I think that guy deserves a lot of credit for turning this franchise around in essentially a year. I don't think anybody expected them to be 6-4 right
No,
now. I don't think anybody expected CJ Stroud to be slicing up defenses the way he has so far. Again, 3 picks sucks. That's a blemish on your last game, but if you're still able to get the win, man, like, who gives a damn at that point?
exactly. Yeah. Bucks Niners. Again, another game that went exactly how we thought it would. Niners take it 27-14. I cashed my McCaffrey anytime touchdown. I told you he'd be back this week. They're gonna
Giddy.
keep feeding him. Brandon Ayuk, he's doing his thing, 156 yards a touchdown. He's been absolutely unreal this year. And the Niners, they look great when everyone's healthy. It's when they have those injuries that you got to be cautious betting them. But
Mm.
yeah, just exactly how we thought. You're a Bucks fan, so I'll kind of let you take it from here. But really was hoping for a Todd Bowles rant from Gary. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna rant too much on Todd Bowles. Like I expected this outcome. San Francisco, really great team. I ended up taking Bucks plus 13.5 before the game, and they covered that. And I also hit a little 2-way parlay for Rashad White over 24.5 receiving yards and Brandon Ayuk alt receiving yards over 50. So that was pretty easy to be able to get. Rashad White, though, he's making me sweat a little bit at the end. But yeah, I mean, I saw this coming. Brock Purdy kind of sliced us up a bit. I thought maybe he would throw a pick. I did throw a little sprinkle on that, and that didn't end up coming to fruition. But I thought the Bucks would fight a little bit, just be able to hang in there maybe. But the defense for the 49ers is just too overpowering, I think, for a guy like Baker Mayfield, who's not really, I don't think, at the talent level where he can overcome such a fiery, great defense like the
yeah,
49ers. He can make some plays here and there, but I didn't see him being able to get a victory over the Niners, especially in San Francisco. So kind of predictable win there. Glad that the Bucks got the cover and cashed me on a little parlay. But man, 4-6. I just really hope the Bucks can get a couple more wins before the end of the season. I knew we weren't not going to be that great, but I would love a few more wins. It would be so nice.
yeah. Onto a team that's hoping for the same thing. The Jets got curb stomped by the Bills, 32-6.
Yeah,
Um, 2 main takeaways. One, does Stephon Diggs still play football? Do you know if he does? Because I don't think I've seen him play
don't
at
know,
all.
man.
At least my fantasy team hasn't. So,
Yeah.
if Stephon Diggs, give me a call. Let me know if he's retired or not, and if I can just drop him to the waivers. But just I don't know where the fuck he is. On the other side, Zach Wilson's the worst player I've ever seen, and I hate saying that. But dude, like your best moment was you falling on your ass from tripping on the air. Like
Mhm.
if that's your greatest moment from the weekend, I don't know what to tell you. You're demoted to the third string QB for a reason. Like it's fucking pitiful, man. Zach Wilson,
Yeah.
he went from this MILF Hunter persona. Now he's the third stringer. I don't even know if you get pussy at the third string. I don't think you
Probably not.
do, but it's tough to be a Jets fan. If you're a Jets fan, you're in shambles. That's just how it is. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have much on this game, to be honest with you. Like, I did not watch it at all. I Yes, just this is such a stupid game. Like, the Jets are just so bad offensively. Zach Wilson cannot do anything to move this offense down the field. They're just hoping and praying that they stay alive enough for when, if Rodgers comes back, that he's able to help them at least sneak their way into the playoffs. But 4-6, the offense is abysmal. The defense is just trying to keep them in games, and giving up 32 points isn't really going to get the job done. They did force quite a bit of field goals from the Bills offense, which was good to see, and being able to stop Josh Allen on quite a few drives, and also get another pick of Josh Allen. I mean, his pick prop should be automatic every single week. It's ridiculous for Josh Allen. But I think the Bills just got a much needed win here after sliding a little bit and not looking like themselves. They needed this division win, and they got it at home. So that's really all I got to say.
yeah, on to the next matchup, Seahawks Rams. I'll just let you take this one away. This is all you, sir.
Yeah, dude, this was the trap game of the week. If you did not listen last pod, we called this the Rams should not have been favored in this game. Why were they favored coming into this game? Seahawks were 6-3, Rams were 3-6. And lo and behold, the Rams get a 17-16 win. Now, granted, that field goal kick at the end, it had me sweating a little bit. If that dude nailed the 55-yarder, obviously we would have been on the wrong side of that. And, if you take the L that way, whatever. Can't be too
Yeah.
mad about that. But this is just the spot where if we see a line like this that looks suspect, you have to just take the side that you feel sketchy about. And it seems so counterintuitive to do that. But with everybody just taking the bait to be on the trap side of the line, which is what we talk about, you are literally falling right into that trap. The books, I talk about this, they're begging you, they're giving you points with the Seahawks. The Seahawks are plus money on the money line. Like, why would you not take them? Why wouldn't you? They're better than the Rams, right? They have a better record. Sometimes they're just going to be fishy. They're going to try and get you like that. So if you took the Seahawks money line, unfortunately, you face a bad defeat. If you took the spread, you probably ended up covering that, which is good. But Rams say this is just a matchup that they shouldn't have been favored in, and they came out with a win. We're able to get that on the money line. Felt really good. So I'll have to look ahead for this week, see if there are any other stinky type of lines like that.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason the house always wins, right? And it's because of these trap games that you see every week. It's one
Yeah.
I've fallen into. It's one everyone's fallen into once or twice as a sports bettor, but
Uh-huh.
that's why the house stays afloat. These lines they don't mess around, and when we point them out to you guys, we definitely recommend you listen to us because we don't fuck around when it comes to trap lines. We see right through that shit, and we'll tell you to see right through that shit. So now on to the
And yeah,
play.
we're not. Yeah,
Play
and
of
we
the
won't win
fucking
every
year.
one either. I mean, not every trap line is a guaranteed win,
Yeah.
but I will say more often than not, when you can identify those and end up being on the right side of that, you're
Yeah.
gonna be winning more often than you're gonna be losing. I can tell you that right now. Not gonna be all the time. Sports gambling's never 100%. Always keep that in mind. But more often than not, you'll be on the right side with those.
Yeah, on to the play of the year. I 10x my units on this bet. Vikings, Broncos. I took Vikings plus 2.5. I knew it was gonna hit. They lose the game, lose by 1. It was fucking beautiful and right how I needed it to be. Play of the year hits. Your boys got money. We're walking out with our heads high. You did not tail. Fucking sorry for you, man. That's a tough luck. The play of the year comes around every once in a while. That was it. It was a lock. I told you guys, I said, avoid the money line, trust the points. Just trust the points in this matchup. because this is a game. The Broncos will always play you close unless you're playing the Dolphins. But Russ is not that bad anymore. The Vikings, they're putting their shit together. It is what it is. It's a fucked up soup right now, but you knew it was going to be close, so you always get those extra points just in case. So glad it hit. Was really happy about it. Flipping the fuck out at Julie's. It was just awesome.
Nice.
But yeah, do you have any takeaways from this game?
No, man, just I wish I jumped on those points with you too. I did not listen. I took the money line. I took the cheese. That plus money looked too good for me. And unfortunately, you got the cover, man. And I took the L because I thought Vikings would be able to get that outright win. But Broncos, man, they somehow are able to pull it out. Russ is
Always.
now cooking with Denver. Uh, he is just on a roll now, and Denver's looking like a much better team after a really, really tough start to the season. Um, we will still be on the Vikings moving forward, though. We have not lost faith in the
Justin
past.
Jefferson coming back
AJ will be back. He will
at some
certainly
point. He'll be back. I promise.
at some point he will be back.
I'm
Keep it in
not
mind.
bullshitting you.
Yeah.
But yeah, on to Monday Night Football. I have a couple bets in for this game. I have over 45.5 Eagles Chiefs. I just feel like it's one of those games going to be a battle. Gary said it last week, but Goodell's going to be in some ears saying, hey, pump up the score. This is supposed to be the matchup of the year. So I'm going to hammer that over. Two bets I'm kind of uncertain on now based on what I heard, but Travis Kelce over 68.5 receiving yards and an anytime touchdown for him. I'm going to leave it in, but Taylor Swift is not going to be there anymore. Maybe Kelsey's going to be like, well, damn, bitch. Like, hey, you should have been here. You should have seen this all time performance, or he'll just kind of do like the usual Kelsey when she's not there. I don't know. I'm really hoping for the original, but we'll see what happens. I do feel like Kansas City -2.5 at home is also a pretty hefty bet. So we'll see what happens. But those were my bets for the night. I think it's gonna be a hell of a matchup. If you don't take a side and you just want to watch the game, you will not be let down. This is gonna be a hell of a matchup to watch. So I'll
True.
send it to you, Holmes.
Yeah, I don't really have too much from a betting perspective on this game. I've been trying all day just to look and see if I can find an edge, and I don't feel like I'm finding anything that I am feeling really confident in. I did get a boost today, though, on Hard Rock,
Oh,
and I did take it because it looked pretty nice. Kelsey and AJ Brown both to score a touchdown. It's plus 350.
thank
Kind of like the value there. Bless you, sir.
you.
AJ Brown has been fantastic for the Eagles. He's
Mm-hmm.
been scoring a ton and been a mainstay in the offense for Jalen Hurts. And Kelsey has too. I think Kelsey is due this weekend to get a nice touchdown at home. Although Taylor Swift will not be there, her parents will be there. I think he is going to want to have to show out for not only her parents, but Mama Kelsey that will be in the building as well. So I'm going to take that plus 350. It's not a bad boost. I think there's some value on them to both be able to score. But yeah, if I lean anything tonight, it might be the Chiefs money line minus 145. I might end up laying juice with that just because they're at home. Literally, if it was flipped and the Eagles were at home, I'd probably be on the Eagles money line. It is just really, really hard to be able to pick this one. I did hear a stat though today in Super Bowl rematches. I don't know how long this goes back, but in Super Bowl rematches in the regular season, the Super Bowl winner is 3-0. Now, it's not a very big sample size, 3 games. I kind of wish there was some more research and more data to go off of there. But another little nugget to make me lean toward the Chiefs a little bit. But I might just go in and try to finagle like an alt parlay, try and get something goofy to happen with some player props tonight. But that's really all I got. I like you. I just want to kick back and watch this shit, man. It's gonna be such a good game. Monday Night Football, prime time. We've been waiting for a matchup like this all season, so let's get it cooking.
Yeah, that's the NFL recap. We got some NBA and NHL picks though. So Holmes, I'll let you lead it off and then I'll wrap it up with my NBA picks because I only have a couple, but
All right, bet. I only got a couple either. I got 2 in the NBA, 3 on the ice. In the NBA, I am going to take the Heat on the money line and the Timberwolves on the money line. The Heat are minus 120 and the Timberwolves are minus 135. Timberwolves have been playing really, really good basketball. And I am the only reason I'm a little bit wary about this pick is because the Knicks have been playing very, very well on their road trip right now. But I do like the Timberwolves to play some really good defense against the Knicks. I think their size advantage will help them out here in this matchup. So I'm going to take the Timberwolves, and they're at home minus 135. The Heat are on the road at the Bulls. I just do not have any confidence in the Bulls, especially watching that Zach LaVine meltdown in a win the other night. That was a little suspect. That definitely
Yep.
gives me some indication that A, either he does not want to be there anymore, or B, there is going to be some trade talk surrounding him very, very soon. And the Heat could certainly be in the trade talk for Zach LaVine. So keep your eye on that moving forward. But I like the Heat to be able to get the win on the road tonight. Bulls, I don't like this team. I think they're in just a little bit of disarray right now. So we'll take the Heat on the road. To the ice, 3 plays tonight. We're going to take the Avalanche on the money line on the road against the Predators. That is at 8 p.m. That's minus 165. So it's a little juicy. That is the juiciest play that you'll have to lay tonight. If you want to parlay these at all, you can. I advise against it, but it might be able to give you some plus money odds if you're looking to not lay as much juice with these plays. But I just like this Avalanche team this year, as good as they've looked offensively and defensively. I think they can get one over on a mediocre Predators team tonight. I also like the Kings at the Coyotes on the money line. The Kings have been playing very, very good hockey. The Yotes have actually not been too bad this year, but the Coyotes also have 0 home ice advantage. So I like the Kings to come in here and get a win at minus 145. And then the Canucks minus 1.5. That will be the puck line. Take the Canucks on the puck line minus 150. They are at home against the abysmal Sharks. I am just going to be trying to fade the Sharks literally as much as possible because they are a shit hockey squad and they are not in San Jose. They tend to play a little bit better at home than they do on the road. Canucks are a very good hockey team this year. I'm going to take the Canucks to win by 2 at home minus 150.
Love them. I got 5 NBA player plot. Fucking hell. Player props tonight.
There it is. There
I'm
it is.
still sick. Still got flu brain. It is what it is, but we're
It's
doing our
okay.
best.
It's okay.
Giannis,
It's
over
winners.
16.5 rebounds plus assists. I just have a good feeling. He's playing Washington. They're defensively a very weak team. So I know he's going to be dishing the rock tonight. Dame's going to have a stellar night. So that's where I'm sitting there. Fred
Wait, hold
VanVleet.
on. Before you move on, can you say that one more time? Sorry, I'm just making sure I get these down because I might want to tail some of these as well.
So it's Giannis over 16.5 rebounds plus assists.
Okay, bet.
Fred VanVleet. I'm gonna do over 7.5 assists. They're playing against the Warriors. Something's telling me that down low, I think Houston's gonna have a good game. You don't have Draymond down there, which is also why taking Jabari Smith Jr. over 11.5 points. I think that's a good, matchup. Obviously, Draymond's not there. They don't really have a center. So it just makes sense to kind of body up on that one. But
Nice.
other one, Jaden McDaniels over 9.5 points. They're playing the Knicks. I mean, that's the only rationale you need. They're playing the Knicks over. And then Sabonis, my draft pick this year in fantasy, playing the Pelicans over 17.5 rebounds plus assists. The man does it all. He's going to be passing the rock. He's going to be hard down low. New Orleans doesn't really have that big body down low. I know that they got a couple people, but Sabonis is just that guy. I mean, it's that simple. He's just that guy. So that's where I'm sitting. Those 5 tonight. Probably tweet them out in a couple minutes because Gary's
Nice.
sicko mode, but that's where I am right now.
Awesome.
Feels
I
good.
like those. I like those. I think I really like Jabari Smith and Domantas Sabonis. I mean, I've been watching some Kings games this season, and I mean, offense, as much as everybody says it likes to run through Fox, like that guy's the anchor of what they got going on the offensive side of the ball. And I mean, defensively, he is a thorn, it seems like, in everybody's side. So he's been really fun to watch. And Jabari Smith, man, I mean, he didn't have a really great season last year for the Rockets. But I think definitely this year he's been a little bit better. That Rockets team under Ime Udoka has been not too bad, honestly. Decent revelation for a young team that's just trying to rebuild and get back into some sort of contention with a lot of young pieces.
Yeah, it'll be it's been a great season so far, and I'm loving this in-season tournament. I know people are kind of up in the air still, but it's such a cool format too. And like when you mix that in, like players are actively engaged right now, like it just makes sense that it's just gonna be fun to watch, bro. It really is. So that's why I'm starting to get a little bit more into the NBA pick side of things, just because I think it's more entertaining than in years past. And I've been kind of waiting for that a little bit, but that's just me. Uh,
Totally.
but that's going to do it for this episode. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, share with everyone you know. We're going to give you the picks. We're going to give you the good rationale, except for Gary. But, we're out here every day grinding these picks, looking at these lines, trying to figure out what's best for us. More importantly, what's best for you guys. So we will see you guys on the next episode. It'll be on Wednesday, which will come out Thursday. And we'll have your full Thanksgiving stuff. Who knows? Maybe we'll dress as fucking turkeys and pilgrims. I don't know yet. We'll figure it out, but we will see you guys on the next episode. If you don't watch again before the holidays, have a happy Thanksgiving. We will see you guys soon. Peace.
Peace.